Okay, so this is the order of the reeds. So the first one is the Boston Sack Shop Silver in a 3. Second is the Vandoren Java Red 3. The third is the Rigotti Gold Jazz 3M. The fourth is the Gonzalez Jazz Local 627 in a 3. The fifth is the Legere American Cut 2.75. The sixth is the Boston Sack Shop Black in a 3. Seventh is the Forestone Black Bamboo in a medium hard. The eighth is the Rigotti Gold Jazz in a 3L. The ninth is the Marca American Vintage in a 3. And the 10th is the Rico Jazz Select in a 3M. And that's a filed Jazz Select. So that's the list of reeds. So let's re-listen to them and then I'll give my thoughts. Okay, so my thoughts on the reeds are unsurprisingly, my regular reed remains my favorite, which is the Gonzalez Jazz Local. That's just responds really well across the range of the instrument. It's got a nice mix of kind of smokiness and some overtones in there. So even though it can be quite a dark reed, I think it's got some brightness when you want it. And I'm really comfortable with those reeds at this point in time. The synthetics, I really don't like the Legere American Cut at all. It sounds quite buzzy, and I think you can hear that on the recording. There's like this kind of middling raspiness to it. The other thing that I also find really uncomfortable with that reed is just the reed itself. I find it sharp in my mouth against my tongue, so I think that's something that's worth considering if you're considering those reeds. The Forestone Black, I think, is better than the Legere, but it still has that kind of buzzy quality. And I think it's a nicer reed all round. It feels more comfortable in my mouth. It doesn't feel as obviously plastic as, for me, the Legere reed does. But I don't think I'd want to use it other than, if I really know that I need to get a reed on working in adverse conditions pretty quickly. For the other reeds, I like the Rigotti Gold, but the ones that I have are too hard for me, so I need to go back and try like a 2.5, maybe 2.5 hard. I think strong, they use 2.5 strong, and see how I got on with that. It's got a nice amount of brightness and kind of punch to it. I like the way that it feels, but yeah, the ones that I've got are a little bit too hard. The Boston Sackshot Black I really don't like on tenor. It sounds quite dark and dead to me, and again, it's too hard. Whereas the Boston Black Shop Silver, which incidentally I really didn't like on alto, is probably could be my second place reed in this test. Again, that's a 3, maybe a little bit too hard. I might try a 2.5 and see how I get on with that particular reed there. Moving on to some of the others, the American Vintage from Marca in a 3. It actually had a slight chip on that reed, so it's not a complete fair comparison as the last one that I had in the box. For a long while, I had those as my kind of backup to Gonzalez when I couldn't get them. And it's a nice reed, but it doesn't kind of jump out and grab me. And then the final 2 are the Vandoren Java Red. That for me is just dead as a doornail. It's very easy to blow, and I think compared to some of the other reeds, it feels softer. But it provided nothing to me in this context. And then the dark horse that was a surprise for me, which is the Rico Jazz Select. I'm probably going to contract some horrible disease from the state of that reed. I've got a bunch of them in the box and they've been kept in somewhere cold and damp. But this one being a 3 medium, it actually responded really well and it played quite comfortable when I was playing it. So maybe I'm going to go and check some of those out again. But yeah, for me, unsurprisingly at this point in time, my current favoured reed is my favourite of the bunch. But let me know what you think and let me know if there were any surprises as to which was which.